Hi, I want to thank all of you for helping again with PDC and volunteering to be a room host. For those of you who were not able to help or come to our training a couple weeks ago, this training session is for you, and those of you who decided to volunteer at the last minute. I appreciate all your help in filling some of the gaps, a couple of the holes that we had. So appreciate all of your help. I thought I would do a online training instead of a training Tuesday night before PDC. So hopefully this will help. I'm going to make it short and sweet, but if you have any questions, please feel free to get a hold of me via email or text, or come see me, Wednesday morning or Wednesday before your session. Be happy to answer any questions. So what you'll do is right before your session, preferably if you have any questions, come see me, even before that, you will come pick up. So each room host there'll actually be 2 room hosts per room per session. One room host will be scanning badges as people enter the room, and the other one will be up front helping the speaker with any questions or any last minute needs, and will also be introducing the speaker with their bio. So I really doesn't matter to me which one does what, so whoever your partner is, you guys can decide when you get there who wants to do what. Doesn't matter to me. So what you'll do is, 10-15 minutes before the session starts, you'll come to room 255A, that's the admin room. You'll come and pick up the Microsoft Surface tablet and the scanner, and I will have them preloaded with the Excel spreadsheet of what you need to do to scan the badges. And if you have any questions on scanning the badges or anything like that, just let me know. I can show you quickly what a good beep and a bad beep looks like or sounds like. And it will be really easily identifiable, and you can see it each row as it scans a badge. It'll go to the next row. So just keep an eye on that, and it'll also have the amount of seats available in the room and how many are remaining. So you'll see it'll start counting down, so you'll know that it's scanning it correctly. And then just save it periodically as well. That also will help so that we know that we have everything that we need to save. And then also with the scanner and Surface, you'll also pick up one of these packets. As you can see here, and in these packets there's a few things in here. First is obviously my card, my business card. It has my cell phone on there, and it will also, I'm hoping to have maybe the tech guy. He's contracted with the Salt Palace and with our AV. Actually, I don't think he's contracted with the Salt Palace. I think he's just contracted with us. And that way, if there's any problems with the AV, then you can contact him. Or I think Adam Tidwell, he's our VP on the board. He will also be running around trying to help if there's any problems in kind of communicating with that. We don't anticipate there being a lot of problems with AV, but there's always, last minute whatever. So hopefully there's not a ton of problems, but just so you guys know how to get a hold of us. My cell phone's on my card, and then I'm hoping to have, written on maybe the bottom of the card or the back when I get that phone number. I'll try and have that phone number or contact information for the AV guy in case your speaker needs that. Also, there'll be 2 cards, obviously, because there'll be 2 room hosts. These are just thank you cards for the room hosts. So these are your cards. As a room host, feel free to take those. There'll be this envelope here This will have the name of your speaker on it, and it will be sealed. This is for your speaker. Don't open it. This is their thank you gift and or check. So do not open this. This is for the speaker themselves, whatever their negotiated rates are. So just give that to the speaker after they're done or before they're done or before they start. Usually after is usually what most people do. There'll be a larger envelope. This is speaker bio. That's what you'll do. Obviously, if you're the one that decides to do the speaker bio, that's what you'll do there. That's where the speaker bio is. They're all one page. Made it pretty easy this year. They're all one page or a full page, not slips of paper. So pretty easy and identifiable. And then you'll have a smaller envelope as well. They say tickets on it, but they're just little slips of paper that we have that have the names. Last year, if you were a room host or you came to PDC, you had tickets for the raffle baskets. Similar thing, except we're not going to have actual tickets. We're going to have slips of paper with name, phone number, and email address. So there'll be tickets in here that you'll give out at the end of the session. If you're hosting a session that's a longer, so it's 2 time slots, there'll be 2 sets in there. So you'll hand it out. You'll give them 2 if it's a 3-hour session instead of an hour and a half. For 1 hour, you'll give them, obviously 2, so that they're not missing out on 2 sets. People will fill those out and put them in the raffle basket of their choice. So that one will have tickets on there. Most of the rooms, there's 7 tracks total. 4 of the 7 tracks are 164 seats available, so they're quite large rooms. One of the rooms is 120, so 5 of them, are 120, one room, and then the other 4 are 164. And then 2 of the rooms, which are the computer rooms, are 30 seats. So most of the rooms, 5 of the 7 have ample room. So more than likely you won't have to turn people away unless it's a computer room, or if you're hosting the Mount Everest, we are expecting that one to be quite large. But on the flip side, we do have the encore on Friday, which will be hopefully those that maybe might get filled up. We'll have an encore on Friday that they can present, and people can come to that at that point. So we're not anticipating a ton of the rooms filling up, but if they do, in the packet there'll be this room full sign. And so I do plan to have a board member that stays at the room probably for the first 15 minutes or so while you're scanning. And so they will actually be there as kind of twofold. One is to be your bouncer. So if it does fill up, if you're not comfortable turning people away, because they are your peers and we understand that, the board members can do that. And then also after 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes, if people are late, that's almost halfway through some of these 1-hour sessions, then they'll need to self-report at that point. By then most of the latecomers and stragglers have made it by then. And in the front of the booklet, it'll tell you how people can self-report. If they have questions, they can just email pdu@projectmanager.org, and it'll be in the front of the program if you have questions, or if they do. We're going to be announcing it too. So, but anyway, you'll put this on the front of the room, and then just close the door, and then one of the room hosts will be seated at the back. I'll have a reserved for room host sign on the back seat at the back of the room for the person scanning the badges, and then I'll have one at the front of the room for the person who is doing the speaker bio. So that way it's covered on both ends, and so one of the benefits of being a room host is that you get to obviously have a guaranteed seat. So it's reserved for you guys, and you can sit there, and that way if anyone tries to come in, you can just kindly ask them, tell them that it's full. Obviously, again, this will be on the door. Last year we had similar setup, and I think we only filled up maybe 2 rooms the whole time. So it doesn't happen very often, but it does happen once in a while. So the plus again is on Friday there'll be those encore meetings or encore presentations that hopefully they can see that again. And hopefully it won't upset too many people. We do our best, with projecting what we feel like will be the larger rooms and such. So I feel like they do have any questions, they can always, again, they can report their PDUs. Once the room is full and all the seats are full, we can't have anybody just standing in the back or bringing in seats from other rooms or anywhere. That is against fire code. So we do have to limit that to the number of people in the room for the number of seats. So people, obviously, if they get tired, they can stand or sit, but they do have to have an occupied seat for that person, if that makes sense. So if they're sitting and then they want to go stand in the back of the room, but they actually have a seat, obviously they're counted as part of that room. But we can't just have people standing the whole time in the back. And we can't have people bringing in chairs from the back or in other rooms and things like that. It gets to be too messy and hairy. So it's fire code, and we get in big trouble, and it makes us liable for the Utah chapter. So if you can just, if you have problems with telling people that it's full or whatnot, just grab a board member. We have done this for years, and we have no problems explaining to people why it's full, and hopefully they catch it on an encore. A lot of these sessions too are going to be recorded this year, which is awesome. So hopefully that they'll be able to still see the presentation recorded or whatnot. So hopefully that doesn't become too much of a burden. We don't anticipate it will, but just in case. Again, so if you are doing back-to-back room hosts, which a lot of you probably are, we're all in the same area. 255 A, B, C, D, E, F, basically, and then 254 A and C are the computer rooms. So it's not going to be too hard, like running up and down the stairs and across the Salt Palace or anything like that. So you should be able to be just fine coming and grabbing the Surface and your packet and making it to your next room. We ask that you do so quickly, as quickly as you can, and you shouldn't have a problem though. And whoever, you and your partner room host make it to 255A, the admin room, first. Pick up the Surface and the packet first and meet each other in the room and decide which one of you wants to do what and kind of go from there. Again, the board member will wait about 15-20 minutes, and then they'll bring the Surface back with any questions or anything like that that may have come up. So that way you can just enjoy, after you're done scanning the majority of them at the beginning of the class, and you've done your bio, and then you'll hand out the little ticket slips at the end of class as people are leaving. So and if you have, again, a back-to-back session, just do that as quickly as you can in that transition. Or if your partner doesn't have a session coming up next, maybe they can hand out the tickets while you go to your next session, and just make that as seamless as you can and as quickly as you can. So if you have any questions, again, just let me know. And I'm available in the morning on Wednesday or anytime before your first session. So it's pretty much the same thing for each class, so it's not much different other than the larger classes that are like the computer classes and the such that are like the double classes. So if there's any questions, just let me know. Thanks again for volunteering. Appreciate it. And like I always say, it takes a village, so we couldn't do it without our volunteers. Thanks. Looking forward to a wonderful PDC this year. Bye-bye.